is what we need to do. Going back, and you guys heard this all last week, I'm going to repeat myself so that we can dig into the topic for this week. But what do we do to be able to build our business? Because this is our business, and it's not just, even if you're not recruiting, right? If you're just producing, which is fine, this is still you building your business. If you went one day and started producing, it would be your agency. So think of it being like Brian and I having that store on Main Street. Ironically, it was actually on Main Street. But if you open it on Main Street, what are you doing? Now, of course, we have our leads and we're going to purchase our leads, right? And we're going to dial and do what we need to do there. But what are the other things? Let's say, and that's what the whole topic was last week, if there were no more leads, what would we be doing? What would it be that we would be doing to be able to build our business? So for me, because we're on Main Street, I got out and skipped up and down the street to try to get people to come into the store. So we're going to talk about the different, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not going to be keeping this on for the whole hour. There's no way.
I want to see you skip.
Shut up. And I didn't wear the shoes because I didn't think you guys would be able to see my shoes. I got the little curly shoes, the little rubber ones in the pants and the whole thing. I mean, I've got the whole get up. How I got started was I originally would do parades in Virginia Beach. I would go through the parade on St. Patrick's Day and throwing out candy to the kids. Take you serious. I just can't. She's saying she can't take me seriously. Maybe Chris, maybe you want to take over. They're not able to take me seriously today. I'm not going to keep it on anyway. I'll keep it on for a little bit longer, see who else comes in. So
You have to keep it on. Have to.
Shut up, Jerry.
I just never saw a leprechaun with a mask.
Well, yeah, leprechaun. I mean, my face doesn't look like a leprechaun. You have to have something that.
I think absolutely you look like a leprechaun.
Shut up.
You don't look like a leprechaun?
Is anybody going to defend me, Brian? Somebody? But we got to build our businesses, guys. So we're going to brainstorm. We talked about this last week, but I really want in the chat, and then based on that, what did you guys do this last week? What did you do this last week from the things we were talking about? Did you ask for a referral? Right? And then one of the topic today, we're going to get into levels of leadership. And Chris, I'm going to bring you in on that. I'm going to share screen here in a little while. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about levels of leadership, talking about promotions, talking about being able to make overrides, building your business. We talked about so many different ways that you can be making money. But right now, I really want us to be in the chat, be putting in, what did you do this last week? Did you start to talk to people? Or are you going to talk to people about doing a home party? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right, you two, stop texting each other. The chamber. Did you call the chamber to see how much it is to be able to sign up for home-based business? It can be $200 or $300 for the year to be a home-based business and be able to be advertising on their Facebook page. We talked a little bit. Maria had mentioned that she would help us out, and we can do some things. So we're letting people know that if we need somebody that is Spanish speaking to be able to help clients. So we're coming together as a team in the agency. Jerry came up with the idea. We talked about it last week. Did you call somewhere to actually see about having a shirt? Brian will help you. Email Brian. If you want to get your logo on a shirt, he'll design it for you to be able to. And then if you need a website, we're going to dig into that a little bit as well today. The different things we can be doing to be able to build our agency. All right. So I'm seeing some of the things come in the chat. Church. I'm trying to look through this mask and look down, so I apologize for the delay. I'm going to have to take it off looking down. Like I mentioned, Lauren did this where she actually went to church. Or have you talked to, if you're going to church, have you talked to the pastor about being able on a Wednesday night to be able to help people get out of debt? The library is free for you to be able to go and set up and do an event and talk about telling people about debt-free life. I'm just throwing a few things out that we talked about last week, but what did you do? So that's part of today's meeting, is promoting yourself in action. Are you taking the action about the things we're talking about? Are you doing the things? Because if you're getting on, but you're not actually doing the action, we can't say that it's not working, right? Because we're talking about all the different things that we can possibly do. Chris, do you want to follow up on that? And then I'm going to look at what we're getting for chats and stuff, what people have been doing.
Sorry.
Nope.
I was looking for my mute button. I don't have a mask to blame it on either. So now yeah, so much of this, what we talk about, this business is just following through, doing the action steps that just take the next step. So I would challenge everybody here, if you didn't this week, just pick one small thing and go do that thing. Get a micro win, get a win in something that's going to move you forward on your whatever that thing is you're wanting to identify. One of the things, I was just talking with a potential recruit that I'm talking about hiring. I just reminded him that what he was seeing on our website about debt-free life. And I just said, this is a natural market. Like, we all know people around us who have debt, and they want out of debt. So, how hard is it to just approach that as your starting point, and asking people, hey, if I could show you how to get out of debt, include your mortgage in 9 years or less without spending any extra money than you're currently spending, is that something you would like to learn about? And start planting those seeds.
Well, to follow up on what you were saying there, Chris, so Jerry signed up for lunch with the Chamber of Commerce. Nikki, sent a message to every friend on her personal Facebook page. Jerry, have a meeting about my shirts with the QR code on it. Leandra passed out cards all week and cards in my Spark orders. Amazing. Nicole went to a business networking meeting and have set up one-on-ones with 5 members so far. Amazing. Great, Nikki. Scheduled LinkedIn posts every day for the past week or so. Sent out mailers to 50 people in my area. Got business cards, domain name. No website yet. Looked up neighborhood events to go to in networking. I mean, this is Linda. Look, that's amazing, Nikki. Linda, approaching our local Y to see if I could set up a table. Amazing. Extra time around the seniors who play pickleball, 7 to 3. The Y, talk to individuals about final expense and gifts for grants. This is great stuff. This is great. I mean, that's the thing. We're thinking outside the box and building our agencies beyond the dials. Yes, we have to. We're not taking away from that. That has to be there. Let me back up real quickly, Nicole, to what Nicole said, because it's one of the things on my list to go over today. So like Jerry with the QR code, Brian will build a website. So if you've got the name already, Brian will build a website for you for $100. He just mirrors our website. And then from there, you have to have a Canva account. And you have that Canva account. He uploads your website to that Canva account. And then from there, let's like Jerry's doing the QR code. And it's a one-time fee. He goes through, sets it up. He even helps you with a logo if you don't already have a logo, and tries to help you design that. And he puts that, so that way, when they scan that QR code or your business cards, he even had cards come for me from Canva. When you have that Canva account, he can go in and design it in there for you. And then you can have your QR code right on the back. My roommate writes code that for, okay, beautiful. All right. So you're already set. But if anybody else needs that, and you're trying to be able to build that way, when you're passing out a card and somebody's talking about debt-free life, we have that built on there, talking about debt-free life right on the website. or IULs or rollovers. It's talking about all of that on the website, and that way you're able to bring them right to your website for it's very, very inexpensive. And then he also has another one. Go ahead.
Sean or Chris, Mike wants to know where on Quilty can he find approved posts to post on Facebook?
I'm working on that in the chat.
Oh, you are? Okay. Thanks.
Or Ash, sorry.
Yep. I didn't see that. Thank you, Brian, for bringing that to my attention. And Ash is already on it. Beautiful. Okay. So, there's also some posts where Ash is talking about that right now. So let me go back over that. I'm going to come back to the website. You will have posts. We talked a little bit about that last week, whether it be, if you're doing recruiting, we're talking about how would you like to make $3,000 to $5,000 more per month? That's all you got to put on there to get their attention, to start writing to you. And then, like Brian's got that website, that's the other website I was talking about. There's a recruiting website that you can get as well. And that recruiting website, you can get in there. And then that way, if you're trying to get somebody, you can just send them to the website. They look at all the videos, all of that. So you can go and look at CochraneVote.team. And if you want, and you get to see what that looks like. If you want to see what the website looks, CochraneVote.com is the website that you can go to be able to see the website that he can build for you. The only thing is it's going to be your web address and it's going to be your name on there as well. Okay. Let's see. Did we get something else in there? Okay.
You can steal the information off of there too for your websites, because I stole it from other places.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I'm going to get rid of this. Sorry, Jerry. I am itching. Want me to get rid of the boa? All right, I can keep on the mask. No. Okay. All right. So talking about the website, let's see, what do we got here? I have been linking my business and website to platforms like Google Maps, Yelp, love this, Apple Maps, Bing, Better Business Bureau. I still need to create a Facebook and LinkedIn account. Let me see. Okay, great. So all these ideas, I'm loving all of this. Maria, last week I was promoting our services, products with my Facebook friends, and two of them, one on Michigan and the other friend here in Indiana, posted about it on the Facebook pages, tagging me and tagging all of these connections. Guys, this is good stuff. I mean, I'm telling you what, if we continue to do this, now we're not going to have every meeting like this, right? But I would like to take 10 or 15 minutes each week to be talking about the new things that we're doing. And then also how is it helping us as we go along? I want to start hearing those stories, right? So the things we're doing, and then the stories about what, like she's just talking about, friends are reposting. That is great. And then the sales that we're getting from it. This was the old way of doing business. So I'm going to start back from, just for a moment, I want to go back to the New York Life way of doing business. And then I will come back over and catch up and read some more of these here in just a moment. I will make sure that I'm getting to everybody over there. Brian, I'm not getting to like those if you can on your end. If it's funny because Brian and I are in the same account. If I like something and he likes it at the same time, we just delete each other. So New York Life, if you were in the life insurance business and you were at New York Life, the first thing we talked about this, but I want to dig into this a little bit deeper. Nikki has been on fire with it. Nikki has been literally doing all the steps that you're supposed to do with this. Is that flat tire list. So New York Life, to go to work there, you're going to have to come up with 100 names, phone numbers, and email addresses. We're not asking anybody for any of those. But what we are saying, use that as one of the tools that you have. We talked about me dressing up as a leprechaun or a secret agent, man, because the thing is we don't want to be secret about what we're doing. We're not just life insurance agents. A lot of people always think about that and say, well, I'm kind of embarrassed. Are you embarrassed if you open a new restaurant? Are you embarrassed if you open a new cafe? You are going to tell people about what you do and who you are. You're going to get out and let them know that. So the thing is us continuing to do that and use that New York life. They're still doing it today. They have never stopped doing it. They only have one company. You guys have 9 carriers that you get to work from. Chris always says, and he's right, we should only be focusing on like 2 or 3 of them to continue to do that work moving forward. But we have so many carriers. We have so much access to help people where you go to New York Life, you have one carrier that you're working with and you have to come up with 100 names. Chris, I know you always have a strong opinion of this process with New York Life and using that piece and us trying to emphasize more of that. Do you want to follow up on that and your thoughts on us using that flat tire list?
Yeah, because I mean, it's more about being a holistic agent than it is trying to go old school. And there's a reason why we're successful, and we've got the tools, we've got the leads, we've got all the processes and systems. But I think I have observed we have a tendency to swing the pendulum too far to one side or the other. And so we have a tendency a lot of times as agents just to, hey, leads, go buy leads. Nothing wrong with leads. You encourage, you want you to buy them every week. But don't build your entire business on that. For a variety of reasons. Number one, I mean, like we were talking about last week, how would you feel if a good friend or close contact that you knew personally, was suddenly gone or diagnosed with a very serious illness? So, being of service to those people around us is a piece of this business that we can't overlook. But also, the other thing that I encourage us to keep growing in, and that is not only warm market, but leads, leveraging those into referrals. Leads one lead should equal 3. And taking those contacts, once you've made a friend, built a client relationship, and just asking them, hey, who do you know that this would benefit? If I've done good work for you, who do you know that would really benefit from knowing about this information? And we've quoted the stats before, but I'll quote it again, and that is, Sandler Sales Organization, a major sales training organization here in the U.S., did a study a few years ago and found that 60% of people would give a referral if they were only asked. So. And the key words there, if they were only asked. So no fancy language, no scripts, just, hey, do you know anybody else I could help? Obviously, that's a skill that can be built. And you can grow into that, ask better questions, get better referrals, and build that process. But it all starts with simply asking the question and getting going.
I love it. And the thing is, I'll follow up on what you're saying there, Chris. So we talked about this already, guys, but remember inside the GroupMe, Ash has taken the time to upload Jesse Bacra, and he is the genius. He is just his referrals, constantly getting referrals. One lead, he turns into 4 or 5 new clients from what Chris was talking about, asking for referrals. Talking to them about referrals in our warm market. If you know somebody, what better way from them? Do you know anybody that I could be helping on your flat tire list? Make your flat tire list and then ask them that there's people that they can think of that they might be able to help as well. So you get the referrals from there. Let me kind of catch up over here.
Pop in here real quick as Maria had an interesting comment, encountering people who believe insurance is a scam. I think there's two answers to that question. One is there's people that operate with the mindset that anything financial is a scam. Doesn't matter if it's insurance, investments, and at some point it's going to be hard to turn somebody with that mindset. But for somebody that's just not educated, not understanding what insurance is, I would just point out that, hey, banks own insurance policies and a lot of them. So if a bank, an institution, buys insurance policies, universities buy insurance policies on their high level. One of the most famous is the contract. He's no longer with them, but Michigan had Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. Part of his contract package included insurance policies that the university paid money into, basically leveraging the tax-free retirement, putting money into that so it would grow within the insurance policy, and he could access that through policy loans later. But my point, not to get off in the weeds there, but my point is, like, the entire financial world looks to insurance as a legitimate place to park their money. All your high net worth people use insurance to park money. Aside from the fact that obviously, you could go online. Ethos is honestly doing a great job of this right now and interviewing people who have lost loved ones and had a claim paid out. Like, there's no shortage of testimonials out there, people who have been positively impacted by having a policy in place. We have them within our ecosystem. Obviously at Ignite, you heard the gentleman who was an agent talking about his wife who diagnosed with cancer, and they're using living benefits from their policy to help them move forward in life and seek treatment for her. And my point is, I don't back away from our industry and what we do, and I just lean on the fact that, hey, the entire financial system turns to insurance when they want to put their money where they know it's going to be safe and protected, because the way we're regulated, insurance companies have to keep huge reserves, and they can't keep it in the stock market. They can't keep it in, they can't keep it in the casinos. They have to keep it in, long-term products. Insurance companies are the ones who buy municipal bonds, 100 years, 150-year bonds. And for those who don't know what a bond is, that's buying a financial instrument, putting your money in, locking it up, saying, I'm not going to touch this money. I'm going to let it grow and earn interest. And they're doing that on a 100-year cycle. So the people that are making those decisions won't be alive when those things mature, and that company has to make decisions on where they're going to invest their money next. So just all that to kind of lay the groundwork for you. You guys are in a phenomenal position. When you talk to anybody, it's like, I don't trust the markets, I don't trust the economy, I don't trust this, I don't trust. That's great. Neither do insurance companies, because they can't. So where do all those places come running to put their money? Safe places? Insurance companies. We should talk.
Chris, that's so good. And the thing is another thing to add to that, Bank of America, which is one of the largest banks in the world, has $24 billion of infinite banking policies that helps to sustain Bank of America. So they themselves, and you guys that are around me all the time have heard me say this a million times, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, Walt Disney, the banks wouldn't loan him the money. That's how he was able. He used an infinite bank policy to be able to fund and get Disney World started. He wouldn't have been able to get it started otherwise. It's the most secure. They're the most secure institutions in the world. I want to go back up here real quickly to kind of read a few more of these things here. Linda Scott, order business cards to hand out when dining, visiting car dealerships, businesses, etc. Love it. Miss Addie Pinkston created a mailing list to send info card with my info for life insurance and DFL. The old snail mail, just absolutely amazing. Love Jerry's idea about getting sun visor for my SUV. With QR code, we'll find a vendor like 4imprint to create the visor. Love it, Addie. Man, some good ones here, Addie. A fellow veteran invited me to set up a table at the car show on 7-Eleven to offer life insurance and DFL. Maria was asking the question, which you answered. That's great, Addie. Mike, let me come back to answer that and go back with you, I think. Okay. Just to answer that question real quickly, Mike, because I want to keep on this at the moment. But yes, inside HQ, you go to your leads and you're going to, like a referral, do a plus with inside the referral underneath your leads. You can add yourself or anybody else you want to add. And then when you connect your funnel, that automatically brings it over. I can go into a little bit more detail towards the end as well. And Marisa, if you can help Michael, if you remember that as well, thank you. Appreciate that. So going on to, we were just talking about the referrals. I just want to go back to that for a moment on the referrals. Make sure, like I said, on your warm market, your flat tire list, that you're asking for those as well. Okay. I want to spend a little bit more time on this, and then I want to get into leadership and talking about the levels of leadership and promotions and how that can help us moving forward. Okay. So we talk about it, but I want to share screen and talk a little bit more in depth about promotions and how important that is, because again, this is another piece of us building our business. Before I want to go on to that, I want to use one other piece. He hasn't put it in here, but Mike owns restaurant in Western Indiana, and that's what he's working on. He is going to be putting on the side of like his cups to let people know that he's doing debt-free life and being able to do that as well. Again, I know I've said it, but it's that innovation. It's continuing. All these ideas are great. And then I want to go to the first half of this meeting today was about what are we doing? The second half, I want to talk about promotions. I want to talk about how we get there, and then also about leads. Getting back, because it's two pieces. If you guys ever listen to Casey Watkins, he always talks about two things, and that's what we're going to try to talk about with inside the production side of it right now. But he always says there's two boxes. You need to be producing, you need to be building, meaning recruiting, if you're going to do that, if you're going to also build an agency. But right now I want to talk about two pieces. That's our whole warm market, which we're talking about, and us doing all these marketing. So think of us as a marketing agency. Everything is marketing, guys. I used to say this all the time, that if you, what do you do if you're going to go out on a date? Are you going to wear your dirtiest, messiest shirt and your dirty, messiest sneakers and your hair all a mess? Or are you going to go put on for your first date? Or are you going to you're going to press your shirt? You're going to get all ready to go out and present yourself. That's what everything in life is some form of marketing. And that's what we are now here. That's the thing I've been thinking about for us. You know, everybody, we're all trying, there's multiple people inside Symmetry. But the thing is for us that I think is going to make us a little bit different is us really, really, Chris, you correct me if I'm wrong, focusing on just building a business as a whole and all these ideas and us all coming together and doing this together. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to go into share screen, and we're going to start to talk a little bit about, and Chris, I'm going to want your take on this as we get going here, guys. But let me share screen. And let me get down to promotions and bonuses. We're going to do promotions and bonuses first and talk a little bit more about this in detail. Let me get to Slingshot. So I'm going to look at it from both the Slingshot, and there's two ways to get a promotion. We don't talk about this enough, and I want to dig into it along with promotion guidelines. So if you're new, you're at 80%. This is where you are right now, okay? If you write 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 weeks, you have to write something. It can be something on yourself. It can be something in your flat tire list, whatever it may be. When you're trying to go for this side and get it in 1 month, if it's a 5-week turn in which we're in, we've already been through week 1, you need to write at least one piece of business per week. In $5,000 in placed business. Now, we have written business and placed business. Placed business means that it has been approved and they paid their first premium. That is placed business. So you can get there in 1 month to get to your 85%. Now, you guys have seen before the income calculator, but I'm going to bring it up and talk about it because I want to coincide it with how you can get there and then the difference of how much more money you can be making when you're doing it. Or to get to 85%, if you don't accomplish this goal, if you at least accomplish the goal of 2,500 as a minimum in place business, now you don't need to be writing the 3 out of the 4 or the 4 out of 5 weeks. As long as you place $2,500 in that month, that will move you from 80 to 85%. 2 months, 1 month of 7,500 after you've accomplished, if you're already at 85 and you're trying to get to 90, we need the 3 or 4 out of 5 week turn in, 7,500 or 2 months of 5,000 in place business. And then lastly, to get you to 95%, 12,500 that you need to write in 1 month with the 3 or 4 out of 5 weeks written, or 2 months of 10 to get you to that 95% contract level. Now I'm going to show the income calculator. Chris, do you have anything that you want to add before I move on to the income calculator?
Just 15% increase in 90 days for a brand new agent coming in. I don't know how many of you have worked at a company that's given you a 15% increase in your salary, in your hourly, even in a year, but in 90 days, 15% increase in your income. That's huge.
Well, and the thing that's important about this, guys, there's 2 things. Number one, you're going to be making more money for what you're writing. The second thing is if you are recruiting and you're building and you've decided that you want to also build an agency, when you get to 85, 90, or 95%, think about this for a moment. Let's use 95%. Somebody writes on your team and you're at 95% and you brought them in at 80, they write a $2,000 sale. That's a $300 deposit for you. And you're not writing it. You're helping them build an agency at the same time. So another stream of income coming in. Let me hit income. So let's go to 80. Let's say you need $5,000 deposited into your account. You need to place $12,901 at 80%. So now keep this in mind, that 5,000, you're still going to get the other 20. This is basically taking out that 25% you'll get in month 10, 11, and 12. This is you saying, I need $5,000 in deposits right now. Now, let's say for a moment, we just get to that 80. You're at 80. We're trying to get to 85, 12,901. You can write $2,500 less in business to get that same deposit just because you got that promotion and went to 85%. Big difference in what you have to write. Now, let's just for a moment go to 90. 90, now you're down to 9,300. And let's go and jump to that 95%. Now you're down to 86. That's $4,300 less per month that you need to write to be able to get that $5,000 deposited into your bank account. So important, guys, to be working for these promotions and being able, because it's life-changing. Because you're now, let's say you still write that 12,900. Let's still say you're still writing that. That's going to put more money into your bank account on this end. So that's the way to look at it. Still focus on trying to get the 12.9 instead of doing less. All right, what I want to do next is we are going to go on to agent resources, and we're going to go on to levels of leadership. So coincide with the promotions, Chris, we were just talking about this. We don't talk about this enough. There's our levels of leadership all the way up through. And one of the things that I was talking about in accountability this morning, Chris, is I was talking to everybody about you're always working, right? So you're always working to get to the next level. So for example, right now, if you're a new agent, we're working on getting you to an SNA. a seasoned new agent. Now, these two here are TP is a top producer, EP is an elite producer. But what I really want to focus on right now to coincide with the numbers that I was talking about with the promotions is team leader today and key leader today. So if you are working on being able to produce and you're building an agency, team leader, you just need 2 people with yourself writing and $10,000 in place business for the month. So the other thing that we don't again talk about enough is that when you have somebody on your agency and you're working towards promotions, so if I go back and I talk about this promotion here, we're on new agent trying to get to 85%, you can use half of somebody, like half of your number, 12.5 can be from somebody else writing business with you, including Slingshot. So if you're bringing somebody on to get these promotions, it doesn't just have to be what you're writing yourself. It can be what the people that you brought on. So while you're working towards getting that promotion, if you've got 2 people writing with you, you will get the level of leadership of a team leader. Or if you get to 1 more and you get 3, it's 3 people with you. Now you can get to key leader. We talk about agency owner all the time, so I kind of want to talk about this today. So as you go through team leader, but we're going to do it in steps. That's why they do this. Team leader, I have my plaque back here. Then I made it to key leader. Then I made it to agency owner. So it's making it through those steps. So working towards agency owner is having 5 people writing with you and $30,000 in place business each month for 3 months in a row. Now, what I wanted to kind of mention and go back to what I was just saying, Chris, that I was talking about, I wanted you to kind of add is no matter what level of leadership you get to, even including Chris, I'm at an agency owner. Chris is up here at managing vice president at 130% contract level. But even he is continuing to work and build his agency. We were using it, and I spoke to someone, some of you know her, some don't. Her name is Kate, and she helps for us to be able to build our agencies. And we were talking the other day, if Brian and I had stayed in the antique mall, would we at one particular day say, oh, I've hit a particular level of leadership, I can be done. We're always working and building different levels here. But like Chris said, where else can you go that you're going to be able to get yourself to 95% in 90 days? And while you're doing it, if you are recruiting and bringing anybody on, you can start becoming a team leader, key leader. And when you hear me talking about having ownership of this $330 million company, when you get a document that says you own a part of Symmetry Financial, they give you a document and you put your beneficiary on that. That was my goal to get here, and now moving towards the next level to be able to get where Chris is, chasing behind him. Chris, do you want to follow up on any of that? I'm going to stop share.
Yeah, I hope we just cut a quick survey.
Yeah.
Show of hands, raise hands. Who here is interested in building an agency, like having that ownership piece? Nice. Okay. So let's keep it simple. I mean, that's
Okay.
a lot of levels. That's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. So, and I don't want to start calling out names because I saw several hands go up, but let's make this super easy. Jerry, I don't know, let's pick on one. Jerry, team leader, you and 2 other people, just 2. You and 2 other people issuing 10 grand. That's 10 applications between 3 people in a 30-day period of time. So what I like to do when I look at these things, we start breaking these things down. What's the easiest path? And why can this be easy? Well, if it's easy, if we just look at it in those terms. So like, I mean, agency owner, that's great. Like all the levels of leadership. What's their next team leader? Me and two other people, $10,000 issued. Jerry, you're going to be responsible for the bulk of that. If you've got new people coming on, they're still learning this thing. You can't rely on them to write a lot of business. That's okay. That's how this business goes. You look at my agency, I've got a handful of people up here at the top. I got a bunch of people here in the middle. I got a few people down here at the bottom. And it doesn't matter if you look at Marshall Whalen, Jacob Pogue, Scott Mank, Edward Pritchett. Like, we all have the exact same structure. It is what it is. So, so I want to simplify this conversation for you. Super easy. Jerry, your laser focus. Anybody, I'm addressing Jerry, but anybody else on this team has got that same goal. Your laser focus is, who are the two people that I can help them learn how to write a policy? Just one. We'll work on adding more. But if we can help them write a policy, and on their self, great, but ideally somebody outside of their immediate circle. So warm market, maybe their first lead, that's all okay. But what can we do to help two people write a policy? And let's go after that team leader, team leaders, promotion. And then as you're getting to that team leader level, I want you to watch those people that you're bringing on, who is engaged, who's plugging in, who's learning this thing. And I want you to sit down with them and say, hey, do you like this idea of building an agency? If they say yes, all right, our first step, you just need to find two people to go into business with you and go out and place $10,000. So what I really want is we kind of create this culture of team leaders help build team leaders, who help build team leaders, who help build team leaders. Everything else will take care of itself. Like all those other levels, don't worry about those. Those things will come. If we have a team leader factory here, every one of you will be set.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why at 130% do I still recruit, and am I still building a team? In fact, I'm very aggressively building right now. Well, I think to me, 130% is basically the answer why. 130%. And I'm recruiting people at 80. If you look at that, this is how we get paid. We get paid on spread. So as I build a base shop, I'm recruiting people. I find people to win at 80%. I'm at 130%. I got a 50% spread. So if I have a base shop that's doing just $10,000 issued business, my override on that is $5,000. If I build a base shop that's doing $50,000, and by that point, obviously, if I've got a 50, my spread's going to be a little tighter. I've got people moving up, and that's what we want. I want people moving up, because I'm not building a base shop just so I can have a bunch of people that I got a 50% spread on. I'm wanting to help other people become successful in this business, because that's how we scale. And I would rather have 100 people with a 5% spread than just 2 or 3 people with a 50% spread. Right? Because that's a business that's scaling, because those people are excited. They're growing, they're building. And the only way I get 100 people is I help them become successful, and they find other people to become successful. So that's what this is about. That's why this business, yes, you can go out. We've got the producers track, and if you want to chase down producers track, go for it, because there's a lot of ways that you can build not only income for yourself, but passive income through resets, all those things like that on the producers track. But honestly, our system is really optimized for those people who want to scale and grow business. And that's what it's designed for.
I love it. I love it, Chris. And thank you, because it does. I don't think we talk about it enough, because like you just said, it becomes overwhelming when you're talking about team leader and key leader and AO. The goal for me was to become AO, but then there's always a new goal. So right now for you guys, the team leader, a lot of it, that's the goal. You just need to have 2 people, right? To be able to be writing with you, to be able to get that team leader combined with that 10,000. And like Chris just said, I mean, if you scale that and continue to build, Now, if like he just said, if you're on the producer track and there's a couple of you in here that, yeah, that's okay. If that's where you're at this particular time, then we're going to continue to be able to help you build your agency. No different than what we were talking about all the different things that we need to be doing. Everything, like all of our ideas that we've been coming up with, and continuing to use those along with purchasing our leads at the same time. So the next thing that I kind of wanted to get into on building our agency is that accountability piece. And it's not just the accountability in putting in our numbers. Thank you guys for everybody that's been sharing over here to the right, and saying these are the things that you're doing to be able to build your agency right now, because that's an accountability as well. That's taking action. We need to be taking the action. So are we also getting in, and I'm at fault too, I need to be getting in and be seen, and us getting into that Mac room on a more consistent basis, even if we're not dialing, but we are at that particular time in our office hours and working, and having that where we're in there and showing up on a regular basis as well. So, and then the accountability in the morning, if you're not already using that, if you are, great, love it. But if you're not, continue to get in there. That message starts your day. 9 o'clock in the morning, the message is great. And then we get in, and some of you are lucky enough to be able to see me at 9:20 in the morning as we get the day started, right? So Chris, because I want to go and see if anybody has any questions from anything that we're going over, or anything that we can. Do you have anything else that you want to kind of add on the overview today? No, you're good. Okay, great. So guys, what questions do we have? Anybody have any questions from today about building the agency? Anything that we can answer at all? No questions. Wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for me for today. I mean, we're about 10 minutes before the top of the hour, but again, guys, thank you for really taking the time and putting in the work and the effort and showing up here. It's appreciated more than you guys know, right? To be showing up, you're showing up for us, you're showing up for yourselves, and then we're going to continue. This is going to be our new marketing team, right? This is us figuring out ways to be able to build our agency. So let's get some more things done this week, and really let's come showing. If you got new cards, bring them on next week and show them to us. If you've got new shirts, bring them on, show us to. If you've got a new website, bring it on so we can take a look at it and share it and show people what you're doing. This is a group effort to be able to do this. So appreciate everybody. If nobody has any questions, Marisa, come right ahead, my
Sean,
friend.
did you want to show Michael where to go for that lead update?
Oh yeah, yep, good. Thank you, Marisa, for calling me out. Great call. All right, guys, let's go there. All right, guys, so if we go into leads, if you're using Funnel, what Marisa and Mike are talking about is if you want to be able to add somebody, you can't just go into Funnel and add somebody in there. You have to come into My Leads. Well, if it'll load, guys. Okay, and create a referral. So My Leads, go in there, create a referral. Go in and enter all the information that you need to enter here. And then when you enter in the information and save it, let me bring it back. And after you save it, in there, you'll go over to Funnel, and whenever there's a link to be able to pull everything over for new leads, and that'll bring that right over to your funnel after you add that referral and save it in there. Okay. So just like purchasing a lead, if you purchase a lead, you're using Funnel and you click on it, it brings it over, it does the same thing. If anyone is in the area, come out to the SOG event. Well, you're going to be in Nashville. That's cool, Chris. Absolutely. That's going to be close. Maybe I need to drive down Thursday. to schedule your breakouts. Yes, Ash. So Ash is talking about anybody that's already scheduled for conference. And if you're not, if you don't already have your ticket for conference, I haven't talked about this enough. That is Engage, and it is really, really important to get to Engage this September. Some of the things that they're going to be rolling out, they're rolling out specifically in September. The breakouts, I'm actually going to be in one of the breakouts, speaking at one of the breakouts about referrals and being in recruiting. So if nothing else, come there so you can just see me. But seriously, guys, if you don't already have your ticket to go, get your ticket. Get with us. Get with whoever, you know, Jerry, me, Addie, Chris, Ash, whoever, and we'll help you get your ticket. So good call, Ash. Menifee at checkout, take the $80 off. Okay. She's actually got the code right down there in the bottom as well. If you want to be able to just, you don't even have to get with us. You can get in and be able to purchase it and let us know after you purchase it as well. Any specific ones we should do, or maybe at a specific time. You know what, Marisa, let's in accountability tomorrow morning. I'll bring that up and we'll talk a little bit more about that, because let me look at what breakouts are there. And then that way, I haven't signed up myself yet, and I need to do that. So I'll get on and figure out what breakouts are in there, and we can discuss which ones you should go to. Go ahead.
I've been looking at them all and like, oh, well, that one's a good one, but then this one is a good one, but they're at the same time. And, you know, trying to figure out if they're duplicated at different times. So, yeah, I've been looking at them and all, but
let's do that after as soon as we go through the numbers tomorrow. Let's do that in accountability together, and we will. And anybody that's not getting in accountability, let me know. And then after I figure this out, we'll jump on another Zoom and go over this with everybody. Ash, did you want to add something?
You can tag team too. I mean, partner up with somebody who you can take notes and even record it. A lot of people record it too.
Yeah, and another thing is usually if you're a new agent, there's only 4 or 5 spots, right, for all of the breakouts, and generally they will flip-flop times as well, so that you can, even if it's at this time, you can go to like say the first and the third one will be the same, but at different time, like at a different time, so you can go back through and just kind of move your calendar around of which ones that you like the best and see where the different times are, if that makes sense.
no, that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out, which ones are which time. And
Yeah,
Like putting a
generally
puzzle together.
if you pick the ones that you like, and then you get to say the third spot and you're like, oh, that one's here, so I can actually add it here and then go back to the first one and get rid of it and maybe pick a different one that you can actually go into during that time. That makes sense. I
no,
do it all the time.
I just like, well, maybe I should figure out what we
Yep,
should
that's
do.
why you do it early, so none of them are booked.
Yeah.
Because
That's why I was looking at it.
if you wait till closer to time, you won't get in. That's why it's important to do your breakouts now.
I'm getting together directly after accountability. Jerry and I are getting together. So what I'll do is we can roll over a little bit, and then I'll get to with Jerry right afterwards. But let's get in and we'll talk about, I'll get into the breakouts, and then we'll dig into that a little bit more tomorrow and figure out where we need to get signed up. So sound good? All right. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Even Donna. Bye, guys.